Hi everyone, welcome to Yin Yoga, gentle movement, restorative yoga. Grab your 2 yoga blocks, a pillow, a blanket, a strap, anything that you have around that you might use to support your body. And let's actually start standing for a moment, separating the feet wider than hips distance apart and parallel. And then bending your knees, bring your hands onto your hips. Lift the chest, take a deep breath in. And then with knees very, very bent, fold over your legs. And you can choose how you want to have your arms. You can just let them hang. You can hold opposite elbows and begin to sway the spine, maybe shake the head. And just let your body breathe naturally here. Start to tune in to how you're feeling in your physical being, energetic, mental, emotional. If you're holding opposite elbows, switch the cross of the arms. And as you let your head hang loose, start to lift the shoulders away from your neck. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. As you open the mouth, let any sound out. Once more, inhale through the nose. And open the mouth, let it go. Bend the knees a lot more and start to roll your spine slowly upright, taking a deep breath in. Circle the shoulders back, then down. Inhale them forward and up. Exhale them back and down once more. Now you might want to grab a folded blanket, a pillow, or a block to comfortably set your pelvis on as you find an easy posture to sit in, to ground and uplift in. Here is a reading about acceptance or forgiveness through empathy from the Yoga Almanac. Carl Jung's collective unconscious theory suggests we are all born with a shared collection of knowledge and imagery inherited from our ancestors. This is different from the collective conscious belief system shared by a particular society, and instead refers to an individual's subconscious beliefs and instincts. Jung believed that the human psyche taps into these primal instincts during times of crisis and turmoil. If you've ever wondered why you react a certain way when you're triggered or activated by another person or situation, this gives some context as to why. In Sutra 2.3, Patanjali describes the kleshas, remember that? Our collective obstacles of which we are unaware, as the hindrances we must overcome to understand our real nature. We can look to the kleshas, namely devesha, which are our aversions, and abhinivesha, which is the fear of death, to ascertain how certain life events, painful and difficult as they may be, can play an illuminating role in our quest to know ourselves. When we are caught in devesha, things that we feel that we need to run away from or push away, we are clinging to our pain and carrying it with us, turning to coping mechanisms to manage emotional discomfort. When we forgive ourselves and those who've hurt us, we release ourselves from that pain and transcend from our suffering. Abhinivesha, the fear of death, speaks to our personal and collective fear of dying. Fear holds us back from knowing ourselves and shrouds reality in false illusion, mired in distractions, attachments, ego, and ignorance. When we learn to accept the way things are, we can more readily let things be. We may even learn to accept that one day we too will die. Accepting mortality begins with forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves first is the hardest part. It means looking deep within our subconscious into the darkest shadows and accepting that we are enough. Forgiveness illuminates the recesses of our unconscious mind to reveal patterns and triggers and teaches us how to coexist with them. Learning to accept trauma as part of our story allows us to forgive ourselves so that we may forgive others. By recognizing that we're all suffering, we develop empathy even toward those who've hurt us. Through practice and experience, it becomes possible to accept the necessary dark and difficult as much as the light and easy. Forgiveness. So we're transitioning into spring in the next few days, as well as the full moon on Friday. Wrapping things up, letting go of what no longer serves, and reflecting on what is it that we're creating space for? What is it that you're inviting in? And in that process, are there things that we need to forgive? Something to chew on as you pause to recognize an intention for your practice. And then is there anybody that calls to mind that you might share the fruits of this practice with, dedicating it to them? And together, let's chant 3 ohms. Take a deep breath. Recognize your inner guidance. Let's begin the practice of Samavriti Pranayama, which means box breathing. It's a technique that helps to ground in the present moment, can be used to relieve stress and anxiety or worry. And it's done by just breathing through the nose. We'll inhale for a count of 4. Hold the breath in for a count of 4. Exhale through the nose for a count of 4. And hold the breath out for a count of 4. If holding the breath on either end causes strain, then let go of holding the breath and instead inhale 4, exhale 4. So let's begin relaxing the shoulders, grounding the 2 sitting bones, lifting through the center of your spine, opening the heart space. Rest your hands on your lap, maybe bringing thumb and first finger to touch with the palms face down to invite focus and grounding energy. You can close your eyes or steady a soft gaze ahead. Exhaling through the nose, prepare. Hold the breath a moment. Inhale slowly for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own counts. Another 2 cycles. Finishing at your own pace. When you do, start to lengthen your breath evenly. 4 counts in, 4 counts. Out, still through the nose. Then add softly constricting the back of your throat so that you can hear a soft whisper to your breathing. Practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. Keeping your breath slow and gentle. Let's make our way onto hands and knees, all fours. Setting up your hands, you might spin out your fingertips so that they're facing the outer edges of your mat, or maybe even your knees, stretching your inner wrists. And then as you breathe in, start to lift your chest through your upper arms, looking up into cow pose. And as you breathe out, lift the belly, drop your head, rounding your back into cat pose. And take another 5 or so rounds of breath, inhaling, drawing the shoulders down the back as you lift the chest. Exhaling, pulling in the belly, tilting the pelvis back as you dome the back. And as you finish the next round, spin your index fingers to point forward or slightly point them towards the upper outer corners of your mat. Tuck your toes, bend your knees, and lift your hips high and back into downward facing dog. And take a few breaths there to move your body however it feels good to you. Pedaling your feet in place, maybe swiveling your hips left and right. Maybe gently nodding and shaking your head to loosen your neck. As you flatten your palms into the ground and spread your fingers, bend your knees and lift your hips further back. Try to feel a sense of really stretching the spine as you drop your head, soften the back of your neck. Let the heels begin to root towards the earth as you roll your triceps, your outer upper arms towards the floor. Broaden the shoulder blades across your upper back and lift the shoulders away from your neck. Let's take another 3 slow breaths here, letting your body be still as you continue to stretch the tailbone up and back. Firm the heels towards the ground. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And as you exhale, slowly step that foot to the right side of your right hand. Place your hands on blocks. Adjust the height of the blocks so you can stay high on the ball of your left foot here in lizard lunge. Bend your front knee right on top of the heel, sinking your hips. Take a deep breath here. Slide the shoulders down your back. And as you exhale, gently scissor your right hip back to straighten the front leg, bowing forward. Inhale, bend the front knee. So gentle movement to the breath. Exhale, straighten the front leg, bow inside of it. Let's take another 3 rounds. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And then set the left knee onto the ground, put the blocks aside, and step back into downward facing dog. downward facing dog. Let's take a gentle vinyasa. As you breathe in, come forward, place your knees on the floor right under your hips. Stack your shoulders right above your wrists. And as you exhale, bend your elbows back and glide forward, slowly lowering your belly, legs straight on the mat. And then press your palms beside your floating ribs, root down to the tops of your feet. And let's come in and out of Cobra Pose 3 times, 1 breath each. Inhale, roll your shoulders behind you, lift the chest forward. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, coil your chest up, hug your elbows close to your ribs. Exhale, release. From down to the tops of your feet, 1 more. Inhale, Bhujangasana. And exhale, slide back into Child's Pose. Bring the inner edges of your feet to touch, knees together or apart. Stretch your arms forward, and as you press the mat forward, pull your hips back towards your feet. Let's take 5 breaths here, stretching across your lower back and along the sides of your torso, throughout the center of your spine. Cultivating a soft whispering sound as you breathe through your nose. Then shift forward onto hands and knees to parallel your shins apart. Tuck your toes, lift your hips high and back to downward facing dog. As you breathe in, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, gently step that foot beside your left pinky finger. Place your hands on your blocks. Adjust the height of the block so that you can stay high on the ball of your back foot in lizard lunge. Breathe in here, sinking your hips, softening the shoulders down. Then exhale, gently scissor your left outer hip back to straighten your front leg and fold. Inhale, return to that lunge. Exhale, straighten. 3 more rounds of breath. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. And exhale, straighten. This time, bend your front knee and step your right foot forward. Separate your feet hips width apart at the top of your mat. Place your blocks on their tallest height, about a foot in front of your feet. Press your fingertips into the blocks and inhale, stretch your spine forward towards a flat back. Exhale, bow towards your legs. Inhale, press your feet down, circle your arms towards the sky, and watch your palms touch. Exhale, trace your thumbs down the center line of your body to your heart. Padasana. Let's take 3 rounds of half sun salutations, moving to the breath. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward from your hips. Press into the blocks. Inhale, reach your heart through the gates of your arms. Exhale, bow again. Press through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise. Exhale to your heart center. Breathe in, sweep your arms high. Breathe out, bow in towards the earth. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, bow again. Root down, inhale, rise. Exhale to your heart center. Last one, follow your breath pace. And standing tall in Tadasana Mountain Pose, inhale, raise your arms overhead. Take your left wrist with your right hand and start to lean to your right side. Pressing your left foot deeper into the floor, firming your lower belly in towards your back, and softening the shoulders down. 2 more breaths. Breathe into that left side of your rib cage and hip. Inhale, lift up. Take hold of your right wrist with the left hand and lifting the spine, side bend to your left. Press your right foot deeper into the ground. Send the breath into the right side of your rib cage and hips. 2 more breaths. And then inhale to rise up. Let's come on down to sit. And so lying down on your back, take a block with you, please. Take the block with you, and by the skinniest width, hug it right between your knees and thighs. We're gonna move up and down in bridge pose, 4 breaths, so 1 breath each. Set up your feet first with your arms down by your sides and slide your heels back until you could almost touch them with your fingertips, but not quite, just almost. Parallel your feet as wide apart as your knees are. Ground the backs of your shoulders, tilt your chin slightly back, open your throat, and taking long breaths, move to your pace of breathing. As you inhale, lift your hips by tucking the tailbone, pointing it up towards the ceiling, and then lifting the pelvis off the floor. Stretching the front of your thighs forward and lifting the chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower your upper back, your middle back, tailbone last. 3 more rounds to your breath. Start with a pelvis on the floor, tucking the tailbone, pointing it towards the ceiling, and then begin to lift the pelvis. Long inhale to rise. Then with the exhale, slowly lower upper back, middle back, lower back. Keep going for 2 more breaths of moving bridge pose. And once you finish that 4th round of moving bridge, let your pelvis just rest on the ground for 3 breaths. You might shimmy the hips left and right, just gently massaging your lower back into the floor. And then prepare to lift and hold bridge. You might even interlace the hands under your lower back for 5 or more deep breaths of your count. Pressing your feet down, lifting your hips, keep hugging the block, and walk your upper arms closer together under your back ribs. Engage your hamstrings. Without moving your feet, imagine you're dragging them towards your glutes. Spin your inner thighs slightly towards the ground while keeping your feet parallel. When you decide to lower your spine, do it gently on an exhalation. Put the block aside once you've come down and keep your knees bent. Separate your feet a little wider than hips distance apart. Separate your knees just as wide apart as your feet are. Then drop both of your knees to your right side and point your left knee down the midline of your mat. Just pause for a moment and notice any sensations along the left side of your pelvis from the front of the hip to the lower back. If you're needing to feel more sensation there, you can pick up your right foot, cross the right ankle just above your left knee. And if you want to stretch into the sides of your waist, you can also raise your arms overhead and hold opposite bent elbows, dropping your arms back and sliding the shoulders down your back. And now let's breathe slowly here for 10 cycles. When you finish that 10th breath here, ease your way back to stepping your feet hips width wider than hips width apart on the mat, separating your knees just as wide apart as your feet and relaxing your arms. Just pause there for 3 breaths before we switch sides. Let your spine just give you information, some feedback. And now let's drop both knees to your left side. Point your right knee down the midline of your mat. Notice any sensations you're feeling, especially along the right side of your hips and lower back. If you're needing to feel a little more something happening, pick up your left foot, cross it just above your right knee. If you did so on the first side, raise your arms overhead, but switch the cross of your elbows. Send the shoulders down your back, and let's begin counting 10 spacious breaths. When you finish the 10th breath here, ease your way back into that neutral position of stepping your feet on the mat, wider than hips width apart, resting there for 3 breaths. Feel any feedback from your body. Then catch hold of your bent knees, draw them closer to your chest. Rock a little gently side to side, keeping an even, gently audible breath. Step your left foot on the ground and rotate your right thigh externally at the hip, crossing your right ankle on top of your left thigh like a figure four. Flex your right foot, thread your right hand between your thighs and catch hold of your left shin or thigh with both hands and thread the needle. Keep your shoulders on the ground here. If it helps, you can place a pillow under your head. Gently bring your left leg towards your belly while nudging your inner right thigh open with your right arm. Let's take another 10 slow breaths here. When you finish your 10th breath, step your 2 feet on the ground, uncrossing your legs, and then again pause for 3. From here, turn out your left thigh at the hip, flex your left foot and cross the left ankle over your right thigh. Thread your left hand between your thighs and with both hands catch hold of your right thigh or shin. Slowly bring your right leg closer to your belly while nudging your inner left thigh open with your left arm. Again, let's take 10 slow breaths. Take your time finishing that last breath here before stepping your feet again onto the ground, pausing for 3 breaths. Turn gently to one side, press your hands into the floor. Slowly lift your torso, then your head. Come on up to sit. Take your pillow here. Place it down the midline of your mat towards the front half of your mat. Have your blocks and blanket nearby just in case you need to make adjustments. Let's prepare for a restorative spinal twist. Have a seat at the center of your mat with your right hip flush against the back edge of that pillow, extending both legs towards the left wall. Keep your right leg where it is and slide your left leg down the midline of your mat towards the rear wall. Then place your hands to frame the left and right sides of the pillow and turn your chest completely to face the front of your mat, adjusting your hips and your legs so you can comfortably do that. You might slightly swivel the right hip back, you might bend the knees a little bit, and then begin to lower your belly onto the pillow. If the pillow feels too low, Then you can place a block or 2 blocks underneath the part of the pillow that's towards the front edge of your mat. Or you can add more pillows or a blanket underneath. You could also fold a blanket and place it under your forehead if you want to lie face down. Otherwise, you can turn your head to one side. Now let's begin counting 20 slow breaths. Listen in to the quality of your breathing. Take your time as you finish 20 breaths to begin pressing your hands into the floor. Leave your props where they are and gently lift your torso upright. And turn a face away from the pillow, extending both legs towards the rear edge of your mat. Sitting tall for at least 3 breaths in stick pose, Dandasana. Keep your right leg where it is and slide your left leg to your left side to face the right wall. And with this L shape in your legs, place your hands again to frame the left and right sides of the pillow. Turn your chest completely to face the front edge of your mat, and again adjust your pelvis and legs to comfortably do that. And begin to lower your belly, your torso. If you turned your head to one side in the first round, turn your head to the opposite side here to find balance in your neck. Let's begin counting 20 deep breaths. Finishing your 20 breaths, ease your way upright again. Coming to sit with your legs in front of you, Once more, pausing for 3 breaths in stick pose. Now let's set up for Gomukhasana or cow face pose. So keeping your legs in front of you. If your back starts to round here, you may want to grab a folded blanket to elevate your pelvis on and sit on the front edge of. Then turn out your left thigh and cross it over your right thigh. And you can either keep your bottom leg straight, flexing that foot, or bend the bottom knee, splay your feet apart. Just make sure your 2 sitting bones are evenly grounded and your spine is upright. And now the arms. You may want to use a strap here for the arms. So the left leg is on top, raise your right arm. If you want to use a strap, dangle the strap from your right hand behind you. Use your left hand to help you rotate your right tricep forward and bring the elbow behind the back of your head. Press both shoulders down and reach your left hand underneath behind you to catch the other end of the strap. Then walk your hands as close together as you can. You might be able to clasp your fingers and let go of the strap. As you press your pelvis down, breathe up your spine, which means imagine breathing up your spine, lifting through your crown, open your throat, lift your chest. Then from your chest, exhale, reach forward and hinge from your hips. Little by little, let's count another 10 slow breaths here, exploring your range. And when you're ready to, press your pelvis down and firm your belly in towards your back. Then begin to lift your chest. Inhale to rise. Release your arms and uncross your legs. Come back to stick pose. And whether you hold still or gently move your body, another 3 breaths here, and just receiving feedback through sensations, through energetic shifts. Now let's turn out the right thigh and cross it over the left. Either keep the left leg straight and flex the foot, or bend the bottom knee and splay your feet apart. Root down to your sitting bones and raise your left arm. If you want to use a strap, dangle it from your left hand behind you. Use your right hand to help you rotate your left tricep forward and bring the elbow behind your head. Then press both of your shoulders down and reach your right hand underneath, either grabbing hold of the other end of the strap and walking your hands closer together, or clasping your hands. As you press your pelvis down, breathe in and lift your crown and sternum, opening your throat. Exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips, counting another 10 slow breaths. And when you're ready, press your pelvis down. Breathe in, slowly rise. Release your arms and cross your legs, maybe a little movement or stillness. For 3 breaths, listening in. And then from here, grab your strap and let's come down onto your back. Bend your right knee into your chest in wind relieving pose, Apanasana. Then step the ball of your right foot into your strap, whether it's the loop or the middle of the strap. Press your left palm onto the top of your left thigh, flexing both of your feet. Kick your right foot into the strap as you straighten the right leg to your capacity. Ground your shoulders, ground your hips, and turn out your right thigh at the hip. And then for about 10 breaths, begin to open your right leg slowly to the right, to the amount in which you can still feel the back of your left hip grounded. When you finish your 10th breath, inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky. Hold the strap with 2 hands, keep flexing your feet, and energetically scissor your legs towards your midline. So you're not turning out either one of your legs now, you're firming them in towards the midline as you bend the elbows apart and gently bring the right leg towards you. Keep spiraling your inner left thigh towards the ground. Last 2 breaths here. Then remove the strap from your right foot. Bend your left knee into your chest. Slide your right leg forward, Apanasana, wind relieving pose. Step the ball of your left foot into the strap. Plant your right palm on the top of your right thigh, and holding your strap with your left hand, extend your left leg up. To whatever degree you can straighten that leg. Turn out your left thigh at the hip, and for 10 breaths, slowly open the left leg to its side while keeping the backs of your hips and shoulders on the ground. When you finish 10 breaths here, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling again. Hold the strap with 2 hands. Flex both of your feet and hug your outer hips towards your midline. Spiral your inner right thigh towards the ground, keeping the knee pointing up, and begin to bend your elbows apart, drawing your left leg towards your chest. 10 breaths. When you finish 10 breaths here, remove the strap and draw your bent knees towards your chest. Give yourself any final gentle movements or last cooling posture before you make your way into Shavasana. As you're setting up for corpse pose, if you have any lower back tension you'd like to relieve, you can take a pillow or a rolled up blanket and place it across your mat under the backs of your knees. To help feel more grounded, you can place a weighted blanket or another pillow to rest on your lower belly and pelvis. You might use your strap as an eye pillow, covering your eyes, and also help to relax inward. And then set up your arms where your shoulders can roll back and draw down the back. Perhaps the palms are face up by your sides. Feel your neck. Allow its natural curve. Feel your two hips evenly grounded as you relax the muscles around them, including your abdomen. Slowly scan the rest of your body here. Go to the spaces in which you know you tend to engage or tense. And just like you're tucking in each part to rest, give each part permission to let go of effort. And with that, feel the freedom of flow in your natural breath. Resting here a moment longer. Check in with your physical body again and notice how you're feeling, the layers inward. And then take your time to ease into gentle movement, simple stretches, slowly waking up your body. You might gradually draw your knees into your chest and just hug in. Give yourself an embrace. And for there, maybe turning over to your right side and resting your head on your arm, pausing, allowing a few breaths. And as you feel ready, press into the earth and slowly rise up. Find a comfortable way to sit for 5 minutes in silent sitting meditation. So the theme of our practice was forgiveness through empathy. Here's a poem that might bring you into your meditation. It takes real courage to forgive ourselves, to forgive another. It takes real love and self-acceptance to forgive ourselves, and especially each other. If compassion is love in action, then forgiveness is acceptance of our imperfections, flaws, and all. Let's begin our meditation. Begin to ease your attention from your inner world to your physical body, to the physical space that you're in. Perhaps slide your palms to meet at your heart center and bow in. Remember the intention that you set at the start and any dedication to someone you may have made. And stepping forward, how might you integrate this idea of forgiveness as you reflect on this transition from winter to spring and sort of practice your own spring cleaning? Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.